Before we start today's conversation, I want to say this. This episode isn't just about one person's success story. Yes, it's about Shashika and about her losing a job, facing uncertainty, and stepping into something unexpected, taking over her mother's business and turning it into something truly remarkable. But it's also about something bigger. It's a tribute to our mothers and fathers, the ones who sacrificed quietly, who carried burdens we didn't always see, and who worked so that we could have opportunities they never had. Sometimes the greatest legacy they leave us isn't money or comfort, it's courage, resilience, and the belief that we can start again. Today's story is about new beginnings, built on the foundations they created for us. This is Voices Unfiltered. So, welcome back to another episode of Voices Unfiltered. Today, I'm meeting with Shashika, and it's an amazing story of career change, of development, of being brave, of being an entrepreneur in South Africa. And Shashika, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I met you yesterday, what a remarkable story! What a remarkable story! And I had to invite you on because I think the world needs to hear this, and I think the youngsters need to hear this.
Absolutely.
But before we get into the big decisions, uh, you know, who is Shashika right now, in your own words?
I'm a warm, loving mom of two, a wife, and a brother, a sister to my siblings. And for me, my family is more important than anything. So I'm a very family oriented person. That's where I am at the moment. Just love to stick with my family and the people around me.
So I saw that yesterday, and I gathered when I saw you interacting with your husband and daughter, and it's more of a friend sort of relationship than, and which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. But
my daughter says
Mhm.
I know my husband for 300 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
she always says, "You guys are too old for us," and yet we're not. And we actually grew up together, and our friendship turned into a relationship, and now we're married. We know each other for a very long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah, and we actually met at the market.
At the market.
Believe it or not, that's our love story.
Wow.
At the market.
At the same market.
At the same market.
And then you were saying that you were an accountant.
Yes, I still am an accountant.
And you still are an accountant. But,
yes.
But accountants are very structured people. They like to do things in their way, and that's the order.
Absolutely. I think outside the box. That's me.
But you think out of the box, right?
100%.
Because now accounting goes, no, you have to do it this way, and these are the accounting rules and laws. But then Shashika does something different. I mean, you're now an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You now sell food to the people, and everybody around you, I've seen it yesterday, love you to bits.
Thank you.
I mean, how does that work? How does that make?
So I put my heritage, my mom's lifeline, which she loved cooking for people. She loved cooking for people, and I think the love she had for food and people and entertaining, she took it to the next level, which was to make an income out of it.
Sure.
And from there, when I lost my job, I said to myself, I have the talent. People always tell me I cook good, and they don't tell me I just cook food for cooking, for the sake of cooking. I cook it with love. And my theory and what my mom actually always shared with us, if you can't eat what you made, then it's not edible for the next person. Don't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So you eat what you make. And so the love of food is in what I make.
It's ingrained in you, right?
It's ingrained in you.
Yeah. So you actually lost your job?
Yes, I was retrenched in last year, May, actually, and then 2 years prior to that. So I found a temporary job. So in 2022, I lost my life, a job that I spent most of my life in. And then I worked part-time for another property company, and then they also closed down. So I've never actually placed a resignation letter, be it in my entire working career. And So I've just had to go with the flow. And I just said, you know what, I'm investing all my time and energy in my career.
Yeah.
And I need to, and like I started cooking food during COVID and selling to my community.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
literally have said that they love my food. I had a message on Thursday from one of my customers, or a lady that's living in there, and she says, you know what, Shashika, I've bought biryani, I've bought butter chicken, and I've tasted everyone's food. I am missing your food. When are you going to start doing this again? And that's in my local area in Kloof. And I said to them, you know what? It's a bit of a thing. I don't want to get back into it and start selling food from home, but I'm sticking to my savories and I'm at the markets. But they want food as well. So I'm thinking and contemplating. My kids say, open up a takeaway. And I said, but that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be stuck in somewhere. I want to meet people, communicate with people. I want to be where I grew up. And my passion for food is what's driving me to live.
As a child, then let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
What sort of a child were you?
A child that always used to smile.
Yeah.
Always loved hugging family. I think I was the favorite niece, nephew, because everyone loved me.
Really?
I was,
Wow, okay.
Because I always had a lot of time to give. That's why I said I'm family orientated. I love to be with my family, my uncles and aunts and stuff like that. I still would go and visit them. I still, you know what, everyone else has fallen off and like kept to themselves, built their own little home and family and stuck to their own business. But for me, when I see my family, we have a family get, I actually become emotional because this is what I love to be like. I love to have my family around. And I think I inherited that from my mom as well, because she was also the thing. She says, the only thing that makes me happy is being with my family.
Your family structure, was it a loving home?
I grew up with a big family, in a big family. We have 5 siblings.
Okay.
And my parents. I don't have parents. Both my parents are late. My brothers are in Joburg. My one sister's in Cape Town. I have a sister that lives here as well, in Asheville. But as the bond that we share, I think there are people that are jealous of the relationship that we have because we are close.
And this is the five.
Just the 5 of us. And yes, the extended family as well. I'm very close to the extended family. But our 5 siblings, our spouses, we are all very close, including our children and the nieces and the nephews. We're a very close family. And that makes me very happy.
Would you encourage your children to have a big family, considering your background? And because, I mean, think of it. You five kids in one household. You don't need anybody else. You're right. You don't. But
too many mouths to feed.
Absolutely. And now suddenly you have families that are smaller, mom and dad and one child or 2 children.
Yeah.
A lot of things come into play. Economic. Can we afford to bring up children, schooling? But would you encourage people generally have?
I always tell my kids, make sure that you stick with your siblings, because when we are not here anymore, you're only going to have your siblings to be with. And you need to take that for future generations. So I don't have a problem whether you have a big family or a small family, as long as you stay together.
Sure.
As long as you do not divide yourselves apart. Do not. You can be at the ends of the world, but opposite ends of the world, but always make time to communicate, to be there for one another, be it on the phone, or face. I mean, it's modern now, WhatsApp calls and FaceTime and everything. So for me, whether it's a big family or a small family, as long as you together, be it physical or over the phone or communication that way, just stay together. That's going to take you for years and years to come, and the future generation.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah, well said. Well said. And going into accounting, something you always wanted to do, or is this?
No, not really.
No.
Actually, when I was in high school, I actually wanted to become a teacher.
Oh.
I love to be with kids, and I love to be around that teaching environment. And but I also liked accounting, and I think because my parents couldn't afford to send us to study, when my first job came through, it was as a debtor's clerk. So I was collecting money. And And then my mom says, you know what? I have a little bit of income. Let me send you to study.
Sure.
So from the samosa money, the business that she had, the little business that she had, she sent me to study, and I was studying part-time and working part-time and juggling, both together. And you know what? Finally, I achieved what I wanted to achieve, and then built my career, started working, got married, had kids. And then after I reached past the 40s, then everything just went downhill. I was like, is it my age that's stopping me from pursuing my career, or is it now the end of it? Because I've tried and I'm failing. So what am I doing something wrong? And then I researched a lot, and when I saw the market out there and which direction kids are going through, they are not directing themselves into accounting or BCom and stuff. They are streamlining to other broader actuaries. So it's no more accountants or chartered accountants. It's actuaries. So it's a bigger picture.
Sure.
So the market, you can see, for small-time accountants, it dropped.
It did.
And with new technology, the AIs, the software that a normal person can just pick up and do their own set of accounts, there was no need to have an accountant anymore. Or that's what I feel. I feel it's like you cut out the middle person. You get your CFO, you get your accountant, and you get your debtors and creditors class. But so the accountants become sort of a redundant position. And I've seen a lot of people that are in the same situation as me.
And it's scary, isn't it? Because think of AI. I mean, they're saying it's accounting, it's attorneys, they've given a few job specs that would probably be out of a job in the next couple of years. Correct. And the way it's accelerating AI, it's
scary.
It's scary.
That's scary in itself. I mean, you cannot replace a plumber, an electrician. You cannot replace those things. So having something to do physically with your hands, something that makes other people happy, customer service, I would say, when our parents said, oh no, we want doctors, we want you to study doctor, lawyer, engineer. That was like the biggest thing in our family. Like, you must become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, these type of career paths, but not realizing that a mechanic, plumber, or an electrician, person even selling samosas or hairdressing will also bring you income.
Funny you said that, because I was thinking back in the day when you looked at people selling samosas and especially, and I'm talking from our background, it was, oh, shame, look at them.
They're poor.
They're poor, they're struggling. What's the word? They're battling, if that's 100%. The word. But then you touched on something important, and so was the lady next to you yesterday. Put their children, this little business of frying samosas and all the other goodies that's in there.
Yeah.
Put their children through universities.
100%.
Turn them into professionals. Yeah. And here we are.
100%. I'm doing the same thing with my children. And I don't see it as a struggle. Don't get me wrong. I don't see it as a struggle. I'm putting my children, they are studying as well. I'm putting them through university because I don't want them to sell samosas, but they also don't see it as something that's a shameful thing to do. People need to eat. People need to live. So why not?
But the Bangladesh market and the Brazil market and many other markets like that are probably the most riveting, exciting places to be on a Saturday morning.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
And I guess when you work there, it's quite different. But when you visit,
it's a different experience.
It's a different experience.
Yeah, 100%.
You grew up in which area?
So I grew up in Chatsworth, in Unit 2. Our family home is still there, in Unit 2. I met my husband. He was living like a unit away, so it was called Unit 3, which is Bangladesh, actually.
Okay.
So he lived there, and we actually met at the Bangladesh market. A funny story. So they used to sell tomatoes, potatoes, and onions. So they had the fresh produce.
Yes.
And I sold samosas and hot dogs, basically. So that's how we actually met.
Wow, that's a nice story.
A long, many
moons ago, as they say.
Like in 1991, I think it was, that really? I met him,
Wow.
And I was literally walking with a tray of hot dogs, and he called me hot dog, and he says, "Can I buy a hot dog?" And we don't forget the story because our friends still we still touch on it. Like that's how we met. And at that day, it was a Friday afternoon. He bought all the hot dogs for all his friends.
Yeah.
So he was the cool guy buying all the hot dogs for his friends.
Sure.
So trying to impress me as well.
100%.
So, and then we still together. We married now 25 years is this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a long time. Yeah.
It's a long time, but that's how long I know him, and we're still together.
Oh, and you're still there. You know, you're
And
still
I'm
at the market. The market. But then the market has seen many different phases.
Plenty.
I remember when people had to bring in their own gazebos, correct?
Yep. I can
And boots
share.
off the car.
I'll share the story with my family, what my dad did. When Mr. Rajbansi gave Mom a stall there back in the 80s, there was no gazebos back then. They didn't have gazebos. So Dad made a wooden structure and he placed it on the pavement area because that was the only place that we could have. Because inside was all the vegetables, the fruit, and the chicken area. And it was where the car park is now. Sure. That's where the market was. So we got a space on the pavement on the side of the market, along that entire area, the pavements, and then people used to sell from their car booths. And Dad used to put a wooden structure with a sail over it. It was like a blue sail that covered the structure. And Mom had a Primus stove, so no gas stove. The Primus stove.
What's a Primus stove? What?
Yeah. You put paraffin in it.
Oh.
And you light it. You literally pump the wick up, okay. And then you pump it and then you light it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, really. So that's called a Primus stove. So, and Mom had her AMC pot on that stove there. And that's how she used to fry the samosas. Hot, 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 hot. And people still come and tell me they remember my mom doing that.
Wow.
In fact, on Friday, a lady came and told me, I remember your mom.
Your mom selling this?
Your mom making it fresh, hot, and giving it to us. And it was so interesting to remember that they said the same thing that I was telling my children about the Primus stove. And they said the same thing to me on Friday. So, yeah.
And it's interesting how the community got together to say they've created a need.
Yeah.
Where there's a need for these end products with a fresh produce. Yes. And I'm assuming in those days, not a lot of people had cars, which meant you couldn't go to Durban Central or to town. No. You had to make do with what you could find.
100%.
And I'm assuming this is before Chatsworth Centre even came about.
Yeah, Chatsworth. Yeah, way before Chatsworth. Way before Chatsworth Centre came out. When Chatsworth Centre was literally getting built, in the 80s, late 80s, and then when we got our stall, it was still very much sand, and the car park area was only sand, and they had like toilet facility at the end there. But that was all it. And then on the opposite, where we are currently, it was bush.
Okay.
It was bush, yeah. But further down, where there's stalls at the moment, which is not filled up, that was where the car park was.
Okay.
That was where you could park your car. All along that area, you could park your car, and there was bush all around it. So once they took over, they did the place up for us, and then they offered the stall holders permanent spaces, and then the food court area, they offered us the water and electricity. So, which is a great development for us. We didn't have to bring our gazebos anymore.
Absolutely. But also the weird part is, although now there's structure and there's uniformity, it just kind of feels like it's taken away the essence of what the Bangladesh market was.
Yeah, I suppose.
The excitement and listening about your dad who built this wooden structure. It was yours. You built it. 100%. You weren't renting it. Yes, you were, technically.
Technically, yeah.
But it kind of was your
space.
And it's the way you wanted it to look and the way people see it. But I'm assuming now there's a lot more structure. Like you're saying, there's a food court.
Yes.
It's got lights, it's got water, it's more structured in that way.
It's the basic needs that we need, because it was getting a bit difficult. My mom was getting old, and then we were all like at the age where we needed to get married and leave her alone. So the hardship came through when she couldn't do this by herself at her age. She didn't have her driver's license, so she couldn't drive, didn't have a vehicle, and Dad was also a long distance driver. So he used to drive
Be
and come
there.
back, and whenever he could be there. So then my brothers, I hope they don't get caught for this, but they were driving unlicensed in Chatsworth.
Yeah.
And in and around Chatsworth, my brother was as young as 7 years driving.
7 years.
7 years. And there are people that actually even still talk about him. Say, this boy, yeah, he used to bring his mom to market before he went to school.
Can you believe that?
And at school, the teachers come to me and still talk about my brother, because my brother used to be late for school, used to take the car into the school, and they used to shout at him, no, you can't bring your car. But they loved him because he had this thing about him where he was also like me, smile, very friendly, over friendly person. And now I'm very proud of my siblings, because from where we were to where they are now, I'm extremely proud of my entire family.
Absolutely.
And their spouses. So what we grew up with was minimum, but it was full of love, full of family, full of togetherness. And to where we are, we still have that. That hasn't changed.
When you got retrenched the first time, who was the first person you told?
My husband.
Your husband.
Yes.
Did you call him, or did you go home and then tell him?
I called him. I was sobbing like crazy because I thought this was going to be my end. I wasn't going to be able to look for another job for the rest of my life. But I sobbed, and he assured me, just be there for each other. I'm here. You don't need to stress.
And your mental space at that point
was traumatic. I'll be very honest. I think it took me about 3 days to stop crying.
Sure.
Because I didn't know how I was going to go forward in life. I've already had a daughter that was studying, and I was thinking about, gosh, how am I going to survive a private college education and a private school education for my younger daughter? And although she was on scholarship, both of them, there was still a portion that I needed to pay. So my husband and I have a balance of what he does and what I do. So we have that, we share our costs, our burdens, we share them. It's not placed only on him because he's the man, he's the breadwinner. No, I don't have that. I also built my career, to help him, to help us. And that's how we live as a family. And but he was actually very cool. No, don't worry, we'll manage. We'll work hard at the business. And then I just couldn't see him work as hard as he did. And no, I need to go out and find another job. I need to work. So it took me a while to actually find another job. I was out of the, and UIF didn't even pay me. So that was another.
But why? You were retrenched, right?
Yes, but it took so long.
Oh.
It took a long time. So I survived on whatever I got on the package, and whatever I've saved up, and I got another job, which I was there for just under 2 years, and then I'm back retrenched again. So since last year May, it's been I haven't had any work. So market has been keeping me going, keeping us going.
And the second time when you were retrenched, did you feel stronger now?
Yes, I was much stronger.
I'm going to be okay, and we're going to be okay.
Yes. Ron said the same thing. You know what? It's okay. We'll manage. And it's hard. I won't say the Bangladesh market income gives you the best thing in the world, but I managed to still take care of my family, and we take care of our family together. And sure, it's hard just having a place to earn income for 2 days a week. Bangladesh market's open on a Friday and a Saturday. And a Friday is absolutely quiet. You literally, we have a get together with the stallholders because there's not many people that walk through there. And Saturday is a little bit more better. And we try. We really wait for the holidays and the festivities. And I really waited for the December time, December, January, when everyone is coming from Joburg and Durban and, all over on holiday.
Sure.
And that was making me happy to see we had a lot of visitors coming. And that's what I would like. It's like, you know what? It's as much as it's Chatsworth, it's not bad to come there.
No.
You can come there. There's parking. There's a lot of things you can get. And we've got lovely, fresh produce. I mean, the market itself, the people are there for years and years and years. we've had tragedies. We've had people pass on. I mean, last year, 2 people died. And one stallholder actually died at the market, which was shocking.
Oh my word.
He had a heart attack and died on a Friday afternoon. So, I mean, do we want to live our lives to die at the place and work all our lives because we have that passion for? You know, there's a lot to weigh, a lot of things to understand. My daughter turned around and said, Mom, you're not going to die in this market. I'm sorry. Once I qualify, this is it. You're not going to go into your old age in this. And I was like, but baby, this is what keeps me going. And that's what kept your nanny going, your granny going. Because that's what she used to tell her, no, Mommy, stop. You're getting, it's too. She says, but this was keep me going. And she was there till she died. So I don't know. Where do you stop? Where do you draw the line?
It's almost a legacy issue, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, it's and being young, growing up. What do they call them? Generation? What are they? X, Y?
Gen Zs, I think. Zs, I think.
Yeah, I get lost with
Gen Zs.
with the alphabets.
Yeah, they are Gen Zs now. Yeah,
they wouldn't understand.
they wouldn't.
They would sit there and go, but this informal market, the loud noise, the hustle and the bustle. I don't get it. Why can't you just go to the mall and go to the popular supermarkets and buy fruit that looks like fruit? You know? And
I told my daughter, do you think you can get the same quality and the same taste at your Woolworths? They sell samosas,
they do.
Sorry, I'm using the name, but
yeah,
they do sell samosas.
Yeah.
Are you going to get the same taste? They're not, yes, they are made, but it's commercially made.
Correct. It's mass production.
It's mass production. It's not physically homemade. You guys see me make the samosa par.
Yes.
You see me fill it in front of you, and it's bread. Everything, we're making it fresh. There's nothing in my freezer for it. I don't even have frozen samosas or frozen anything in my freezers. Correct. Because I make for the week, in the week for that.
Just
week.
enough. Just enough
for me to sell what I have. I don't believe in selling stuff, frozen stuff. I just don't believe in it because the taste is different. It's gone.
It is different.
It's literally gone. So I fill my samosas at the market and I fry it fresh and sell it.
And I saw that yesterday. You know, I was hoping a part of this conversation could be done there. And I thought of it too late, where we could just put on the mics and I could work for you for an hour, you know, and experience the hustle and the bustle and the pressure that goes in with
it's
just in time, having something, you know, ready for the customer, the consumer.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. Just to watch you guys in action yesterday.
Thank you.
Is it okay if we talk a bit about your mom?
Yeah, sure.
And let's talk a bit about the stall first.
Yeah.
And well known, like you said.
She was very well known. It's called Kay's Delights. Mm-hmm. She was known as the samosa auntie in the market. And when they spoke about her death on the radio and in the papers, they mentioned Bangladesh samosa auntie. And at one point, I think it was also on eThekwini's market page, her picture and the samosa auntie from Bangladesh. So, I lost my dad previously, before she passed on in 2008, also tragically. That story is for another time. He was traumatized as well. He worked very hard in his life and he just couldn't cope anymore. So his life ended differently. As for Mom, she just lived for her children, her grandchildren at the time that she had, and always had a smile on her face. And I am so happy that I know her. Even if she was my mother and I met her, I would be happy that I know her. I know this person. Because I see it with people coming to the market and saying, you look just like your mom. You look just like your mom.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel so good to hear that, because my mental health sort of balances then. I feel like I'm coping with it. I'm coping with her death and I'm coping with everything by being here. And this is my way of grieving or being happy. I'm doing both by being here. Mom, um, as I said, lived for her family. She also struggled in life a lot. Um, I remember the one day I needed to go for an excursion, and she says, "Well, I don't have money, and Dad doesn't have money. Let me make you some samosas. You walk around the community." I was in standard one. Standard one. You walk around the community, sell the samosas, and you can go buy some chicken with that money and a soup or more. She made the samosas, and the samosas was 50 cents each. I sold the samosas. I bought chicken drumsticks. Yeah. That time I used to eat meat. Now I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
So I bought the drumsticks. For the next day for school, for my outing excursion, 2 drumsticks, 4 slices of buttered bread, and a supermoon milkshake. That's what I took. But in order for me to get that lunch, Mommy had to make samosas for me to go and sell it.
To generate income.
To generate that income for me to go and at least experience an excursion. So she could go that extent to please me. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. That was like the best meal ever that I've ever had, because it came with love and hard work. And her passing, I don't know. My mom was murdered by a helper that worked for us for 10 years and her boyfriend. Why I say she was murdered by them, because the justice system didn't do justice enough to pin murder on them, but they charged them with housebreaking and with aggravating circumstances, which meant they broke in, but there was no break-in because she knew how to get in, and Mom was murdered. When my husband called me, and I had just started this job that I was retrenched in 2014, it was on the 30th of September. I started on the 11th of September that year at this job. So imagine now, I'm not even a month in, and I was doing VAT and something. I was doing VAT for that day because it was the last day of the month. And my husband at 9 o'clock, 5 past 9, he phones me and he says, "Can you call the ambulance and can you come home?" So I was like, where home? Our house, Silverglen, because that's where I used to live, or Unit 2, my mom's house. He says, "No, just call the ambulance and tell him to come to Unit 2. It's like, okay, which is Bayview, basically. So I called the ambulance. He didn't tell me anything, what was happening. He just said, "Come. Just come." And at that point, I couldn't care less about a job. I'll be very honest. I just told the boss, "Can I go?" I was shaking. And then she says, "No, I'm not sending you alone." I was like, no, I need to go. I'm driving is my release method. That keeps me calm. So let me go. She says no. So she sent the receptionist with me. And she said another guy who lived in Chatsworth, he followed to pick up the receptionist from me. So as I drove, I'm like, it took the Unit 2 off ramp. I see the ambulance behind me. And it took me literally like 10 minutes from Pinetown to get to the Unit 2 off ramp, because that's the driving that I was doing. And I said to myself, no, something is definitely wrong here. I need to go. The ambulance is behind me. I was like, "Why are you behind me? You're supposed to be, I called you like maybe half an hour ago and you're still not there." So I'm talking to myself and shouting, and why isn't all this not happening in real time? Why are they not there? And I get to Unit 2, to my mom's house, and the road, there's police yellow stickers all over that you can't get. So I parked the car, double parked it in the road, and I rushed down. The gates were closed. I rushed down and I said to my husband, "What's going on?" And the ambulance guys, the paramedics came behind me, and then they ran into the house and they stopped me from going in there. So my husband was first on the scene. So his trauma is totally different. And till today, he doesn't share that with me. I think it's more traumatic for him than me, because he being there first on the scene. And for the security company and the police not to let him into the property. He was out of his mind. He said, I need to get there. And go there, they closed the gates, the police closed the gates. He said, no, you can't get in. And at that time, he just says, it's your mom. And I don't know what about mom, what's happening. We don't know. So the neighbors called us. They said, please come up. Let's just sit. They cordoned off the area. And it was like a movie scene. We literally, it was like a movie scene. There was full police. And then they called the state's mortuary van. At that time, mom was already gone. And within 3 days, so when my brother came to tell us what happened, said they couldn't revive mom. She was tied up and hit and beaten and lying on her bed. So she had passed on that way. And I'm strong. I'm very strong to share this because she's made me very strong. And she always said to me, when it's your time to go, you'll go. And don't grieve over me because you have more to life. Live. You're born on this earth. You know when you're going to be born. Live your life. And one day for certain your death is written for you. You'll go. But don't cry. Celebrate my life. That's what my mother was all about. Live life. Celebrate your life. And we now knew that it was break-in because the helper, the helper that lived there with mom, and the helper that was part-time. We came back after 10 years, by the way. So the helper that was there taking care of the household stuff, and then we needed the other helper to help her with the market stuff. This is why we took a second helper, just to help mom with the market stuff. Because that year, 4 siblings was already married. 4 of my siblings, we all were married. My youngest brother, the one that was going to drive my Hesh, was driving at 7 years old. He was about to get married that December. So we were trying to ease mom's workload. So he called he called her because she came. She said, please, I need a job. And then my brother said, see, I've got a full-time lady. If you want to come and I'll give you 3 times a week. But you are here to help mommy with the market stuff. Agreed. She started on the 1st of September, and this happened on the 30th of September. It was all in her plan because she knew mom was saving money to do my brother's wedding. She knew our family through and through. She grew up my older daughter. She taught my older daughter how to walk. While I was building my career, she was taking care of my kids.
She knew that. So when you say saving money, the money was in the house?
Yes, there was
like physical cash?
There was not much, to be very honest, because as I said, the market doesn't produce a lot of money.
Sure.
So she had a little safe, which was in her bedroom. All they did was we had a bourbul. They gave him something, they put him in the bathroom and closed the door, tied the other maid up, and went into the room, tied mom up, and I don't know what else, because I don't know the minor details of what actually happened in there. And took the safe and her cell phone. 2 things.
Sure.
And her life.
And her life. Actually, I have a lump in my throat.
Yeah.
We get to the next question, and just going back a little bit, and the samosas that you sold for that school trip of yours. Was it at that point that the realization that your mum worked very hard, or was it only much later in life that it occurred to you that, hold on a second, that was a defining moment, that this is what she actually did for me? Because as a child, you
don't know.
It's hard to comprehend that sort of thinking, right?
True. It was definitely not at the same time. I was very young. I didn't know. You look up to your parents as they are your providers. You know, they are there to take care of you. But as I grew up, I realized that My parents worked hard for us. They worked extremely hard. No matter what, my dad's dream was to own a transport business. He had a truck, a blue truck that was parked outside, that someone robbed him, but it was still parked outside. And that dream of him having this transport business and owning a truck was there. And I saw it in him. And I used to go play in the truck. And I was thinking, how can I make this dream reality? And I actually made that a reality for me. My husband owns a transport business.
Congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we actually opened it up for my dad to help us. So I opened up the business. I surprised my husband and I said, right, Ron, this is for you and dad can work with you. So it was, I was trying to fulfill my parents, my dad's wish, you know. Until now, we opened up our little transport business in 2008 and it's still running.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so there's more than just the cook and the chef and
Yeah.
the market, right? There's this.
Yes. So he manages I helped him out with my career. I was trying to build him as well. You know, his parents had the fruit and veg business, but that didn't take him anywhere.
Right.
It wasn't taking him anywhere. And his dad had his own ideas. So he moved away from his family business and we created our own family business. So our own legacy. So my husband has a successful business at the moment.
That is amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Going into the market, informal sector, being an entrepreneur, were you not scared?
No.
No?
No. If my mom could do it, why couldn't I? Someone who didn't finish high school, didn't have a driver's license, but put 5 children through school, high school, got us married. No ways. I would not think twice.
It's a trusted model, right?
It's tried and trusted. I would not change it for anything. It's a full-on legacy that it still can carry on. I would not stop it if I drop dead tomorrow. Then yes, maybe I don't think my kids will carry on. But as long as I'm alive, I'm going to carry on as much as I can.
People who want to go into entrepreneurship, do you think the timing is right now to be an entrepreneur in this country, in South Africa?
You have to find the niche and also your passion. I found food passion, and when you love something, you'll do well at it and you'll make it successful. You will make it successful. So you can try everything. You can cut someone's hair, but if you're cutting it wrong and you're getting complaints, then it's not for you. If you built a career with your education and you've become the accountant and you get retrenched in every job, then it's not for you. You will find your own calling.
You will.
You will find your calling.
You will.
And you'll be happy with it, and the people that you are helping will be happy with it.
True. Do you struggle with identity, meaning accountant, corporate, dress up every morning, you have a place to be, and what you're doing now? And people look at you differently. And no.
It doesn't bother me. I'm proud to say I have studied and I built my own career.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. Yeah. I can say to you guys, hey, I'm an accountant as well. So I'm not silly, I'm not stupid to be running a business.
Absolutely.
I know that this brings less money than my career, but what happens when your career fails you? What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do? You got to look for something that's gonna keep you happy, carry on with life. Maybe yes, it's a smaller income. For me, it's a smaller income, much lower income, but I'm making it work. I have a very old Gujarati customer. He messaged me the other day and he says, you know, I love your samosas. I just love your samosas. They're excellent. In bold, he wrote, they're excellent. But can you make it cheaper for me? I showed that to my younger daughter and she's like, Ma, do you want to run a business or do you want to run a charity shop? So I actually didn't respond to him till now. What do I say to someone who's old school thinking?
Correct.
And not understanding
Correct.
the cost of running something or making or the effort to pay 5 rand for a samosa? Literally, you're not making 5 rand.
No,
You are spending at least 4 and 50 to make
50
50
cents.
cents.
That's insane. So you're talking volumes more than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you say to people who still measure success by titles? I'm a CEO, I'm a director, I'm a financial director, I'm a CFO.
I don't like to say this, but it's sad when that post becomes redundant. Then what are you going to say? Where is your CEO gone? Nowhere. You've built your entire career up to be there, and then AI is taking over you.
Correct. Correct. 100%.
So you have to have reality in your life. Be practical. Be, be real.
Sure.
Be real, and be true to yourself. You yes, you have all those fancy degrees, you have all those titles, but you have your RAs, it'll carry you on. Fair enough. You have good retirement, you got investments, but when that is gone, what are you going to look to? I, I don't have any regrets.
No regrets?
No regrets.
Do you feel you are more freer now or more challenged now?
I'm better both.
What about?
I'm free, yes, because I'm my own person. I can make my samosas for myself and eat them, and not tell somebody, and not somebody else tell me, oh, you're making it wrong, because I'm doing it for myself. And then the challenge is the income, basically. That's the only challenge I have. It's small income. And yes, I have big dreams. I have my children. I want them to be successful as well. But we have to live within what we have.
Yeah. There are many people who are sitting at their desk right now listening to this. And they're feeling trapped.
Sorry.
No, and they're feeling trapped. And they don't know. What would you say to them?
Find what you love. Find what you love to do, even if it's baking a cupcake. Or, I don't know. I will share what my mom told me as well. She says, you can build all your career, but I'll tell you, if I send you for a hairdressing course, you'll make more money than what you are having an education. She said, education is not wrong. She actually told, education is not wrong, good, but when you work hard for your money, you actually live off better.
An amazing journey. What has this taught you about yourself?
I can be who I want to. I am who I am. I am who I am because of my parents, my siblings, the support, the love I've got from them, and my family is there for us 100%. And just be yourself. Be yourself, and you can go far away, far, far. You don't have to go far in terms of logistic wise, but you go far in life. Live life.
Live life. Yeah.
Live life.
I like that. Live life. If you could speak to that person that was retrenched, what would you say to that person?
Don't be sad. There's one door closes, another door will open.
Another door will open.
And another will open. So don't be bound by one door. Just keep your options open. Look out there. You will find something that you're looking for. And it must come to you. It can be anything, but keep your options open. Be open-minded. Don't think inside the box. Think outside the box.
And the world's your oyster now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
With AI, and you could do so many things. It's unbelievable, right?
I mean, content creators wasn't there 5 years ago.
No.
Now they're earning money of becoming content creators. So it's a new thing. There's something new every time. So just find what you love, what you enjoy, your passion, and take it from there.
I also want to caution people not to, I don't know if you agree, but not to get stuck in your old ways.
No,
learn
don't
to
get stuck.
pivot, learn to
Yes.
change. And it's what you're saying now.
Adaptability.
Thank you. Well said.
Adaptability.
I think that's
If
the word.
you can't
That's the word.
adapt to everything and anything around you, it's going to be hard for you to build yourself up, to love yourself.
Wow. Shashika, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
An amazing journey. What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And in that, lots of trials and tribulations and things that defined your life moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you for trusting the space. Thank you for accepting the invite and being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it. I think we should do another one sometime.
Sure.
And yeah, so guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow this channel. More amazing stories like this. And please don't forget to comment. You know, we'd love to reach out and hopefully this inspires you to do more than what you're already doing. Thank you so much
Thank you. Thank you for
and
having
appreciate
me.
your time. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.